well as the Jakiro. But once that PL gets, 2-3 items, it's all on the gyro.
It feels like
there.
there's a lot more than just that on the gyro. Not only does he have to be the one to really deal with the PL, but the panel had mentioned there's not even a lot of egg hitters on their team. Is he also the only egg cracker available? Like that feels like there's just going to be too much responsibility for him to deal with.
It's true. I think it's nice for Gyro because he can hit the egg while also hitting everyone else. But then you have the Wyvern where she can just curse the Gyro. I think if they curse the Gyro while the Phoenix egg is going off, there's really no way that I almost said NIP because Layla's name has NIP in it. That Beastcoast can lose these engagements I think at any point in the game. I think the Phoenix egg is the trump card, and the Wyvern ult is just enough to protect it on its own.
For sure. I'm also eager myself to see Schofield picking up the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit, I've always been a huge fan of the hero, even back when it was in an original OP Frog days. Now, finally, the Frog has decided to give him a little bit of love in these recent patches, mostly the agility gain. It's not only one agility more than what it used to be per level. And then, like Rolling Boulder, I think, does a little bit more damage. The distance a little better. Some talent changes here and there. But, he's still a yoked-out, aggressive 4 position to play. And is there anything else I'm missing? Maybe some of the items that have been buffed that synergize with them nicely?
I think it's just the patches also leading up to this. They gave him, I think, an extra Remnant charge a while back. They gave him the Remnant restore time went down. So you can't just factor in when a hero becomes viable. It has to be all the stuff that led up to that patch, too. I think you nailed everything for this patch specifically, but...
You're right. It's like the Frog will just sneak out little buffs, like one little buff a patch, and then another, and then another.
10 little buffs
later.
And
you're like, wait a minute, what happened? This hero's suddenly way OP. It's like, oh, that's right. He's got ridiculous strength gain, and they reworked all of his talents, and they reworked all of his abilities, and now it's on you to figure out where a hero has gone too far, and we need 7.25E or whatever it may be.
The lichens of the patch.
Exactly. So we've had a couple of those heroes already kind of come into big shining here. Nikens, your Necrobook heroes and such. But here we get underway. Here we see some commotion breaking out within the jungle front. We'll see where Schofield likes to put his pressure early. We know these Earth Spirits to kind of add that extra pressure towards the mid lane if possible. Necro is certainly a juicy mid lane target to go for if you're these kind of mobile 4 positions.
Yeah, the Necro buff, or the nerf to his Heartstopper Aurora a while back where they made him magic damage was actually a buff in this mid lane matchup against the Ember Spirit specifically, because he didn't used to be able to break the Flame Guard at most levels. But now the Heartstopper Aurora actually ticks off his Flame Guard.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's a buff in the laning stage, specifically against Ember Spirit. And I think that's why they picked it here to win the mid lane. But so far, pretty even, all things considered. Necro should win this, but they picked the Ember early on in the draft, not really expecting to win, I'm sure. The laning stage, that is.
Yeah, of course.
Not the game, they do expect to win the game.
And you had mentioned Chris Luck had been playing a lot of Ember Spirit in his pubs, so...
He's been, first picking it, so he's prepared for this game. He knows he's been dealing with a lot of counters, and he's been trying a bunch of different builds. I've even seen him try builds like Blade Mail. Wouldn't be too surprised if he goes some wonky build this game, just because he's more of an enabler. He's not really the carry for his team. He just needs to make space for his PL, who can, itemize to carry the game, while he just needs to be a nuisance to the other heroes. And Blade Mail can be pretty scary for heroes like Gyro, who kind of just dump out the damage in an AoE.
Blade Mail got buffed. Broadsword's cheaper means Blade Mail's cheaper.
I didn't even realize that, actually. 200 gold,
and
wow.
Blade Mail got an attack damage bonus in the previous patch.
Yeah, okay.
So
I didn't
Blade
think
Mail's
about
big.
this patch. Yeah, okay. The 200 gold cheaper is relatively significant on such a cheap item.
Yeah. So it could be a big value grab on any of these heavy DPSers here. Bottom lane, MNZ ditching out a little bit of that harassment onto the bird, but, a lot of back and forth here. Early touches. No early first bloods yet.
I like the Bassi on Gyro. Him and Jakiro rely heavily on spamming out the ability, so going to get a lot of value out of that 1.4 AoE mana regen. Usually you don't want to buy that on cores because they removed all the stats, but I think it's really paying off with MJZ being able to spam the dual breath.
Yeah, they get a little bit of each here. One has a headdress, the other has a Bassi, and they kind of just work together in tandem. Sharing the auras, sharing the lovin'.
Mid lane's already becoming real rough for Ember Spirit. He's having to ferry out multiple salves, being stuck under his tower, already doubled up in the CS department.
And Earth Spirit's still chilling bottom lane. I just saw him commit a rolling boulder down here. I mean, he must really feel that he needs to be by the side of Whisper, I guess, and not even adventure towards the mid lane at all.
It is a really good Phoenix game, but you have to get to the game first.
On cue, rolls right through him, though. Not able to catch target of Leo style. That could cost him his life. Oh, no. You hate to see it happen.
The positive is Necro did not get the last hit, so he's not going to get, fully healed from that. It's about the only...
He just did one of the classic, Toro sidestep, let him go right under the tower, and he just rolled, unfortunately, to his own demise. And top lane, going to see the Fireflight committed here, but PL
he's taking tower.
Topple gangs, and he's eating way too much
damage. He just took like 600 damage from the tower.
Ooh, and they just tip him and thanks there, buddy.
That's probably just a slight, I did not mean to A-click K1 there when he was diving him, and he took the tower shots when he was not expecting, and by the time he realized, he's taken 9 of them.
Speaking of diving, Matthew, a bit deep here in the mid lane, but Leo Style is able to step forward, and Matthew will create the space elsewhere and just get kind of walked out by Schofield for the time being.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure consistently applied just from Leo Style being a Necro. He's just going to keep shoving the lane, and he's going to want to defend his tower on Crystal. You don't want to give up your mid lane tower to a hero like Necro, who's not really a natural lane pusher, or tower pusher, per se. And that might allow this 4-position Void Spirit to have more impact in the early game. Wonder if they'll make a move on this first catapult. Most likely to mid, I would imagine, if Thunder Predator does make one. But it looks like Void Spirit is just regenning up on the bottom half of the map right now, going to his courier. Going on Whisper,
stopping,
but nope.
Yeah, the rest of the team. But
he just solo kills him mid.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Uses the ult as soon as it comes up, and it looks like he's able to get the strike down on Ember. Not expecting that one. Doesn't matter how polished you are, Chris Luck. You ready to go against the mighty Necro?
This is a really bad matchup, to be fair. I wasn't expecting him to get solo killed, but you can already see on the CS department he is having a rough one, and it's not a shocker that Necro is able to kill him by himself with that big of a lead.
Trading a support on each side here. They are able to burn down MJZ. Schofield's able to step back from the harassment, but
he has Earn too, so we got 2 Earn charges from that on the Phoenix. Pretty much 2 free salves there.
And obviously, someone's got to get a Spirit Vessel on their team this game. Looks like Phoenix is going to have the early start towards it.
I wonder how Leo Styles is going to itemize. He should. I would almost recommend like a Yule, some early game item to purge that Spirit Vessel. He has to be prepared for that timing that Beastcoast can hit to bring him down.
Lotus, I imagine, also maybe another plausible option there for him if he wants to keep the armor building up. But yeah, top, it's not rivalry, it's K1 getting burnt up now. Frank chases him down, and they'll be successful.
Not again to the tower!
But Frank this time was able to be successful in assisting that takedown of PL, and it allows Matthew now to consider jumping in. Not able to follow through, though. Decides to pull off, and they'll save it for another day. But 3-2, just the slightest net worth advantage. Most of that coming from behind Leo Styles' mid lane performance thus far. 43-24 to Ember's 23-4.
That's a lot of denies.
Yeah, lots of denies.
Yeah, he's just going to start playing a little bit more passive because Schofield has rotated to the mid lane. At this point on Leo Style, his only job is to not die. His hero's going to naturally apply a lot of pressure. He's going to naturally push out the lane. Just make sure it doesn't overextend, because that first death on Necro always makes the second death that much more likely to happen. But Phoenix is about 1,100 gold from that Spirit Vessel, so that's definitely the timing for Beastcoast. And that's almost certainly when they're going to all-in this Necrophos with maybe 4 or 5 heroes.
Converging towards the mid lane for Necro now. They get the chains out early. Rotating from the south is Schofield.
They can't do anything to him right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're present as if they want to make something happen and shake things up. But if they're not able to follow through on anything, they're kind of wasting their time a bit. Here, just a light trade as they see the kickback from Schofield. But here comes reinforcements. Burning on forward, he turns around, goes for him, hits him with the scythe. Not able to burst him all the way down, but looks to go for the finish. Not quite there. Finally drops, does cost him his own life. It's a 1-for-1 trade. MJZ to the high ground on the other side. Super slow, gets the salve, will heal on up. Schofield makes it out also. Oof, lots of wounded warriors on this one, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Beastcoast getting the better of it, getting that Necro takedown.
I didn't think they'd have enough damage to bring him down without the Spirit Vessel, but that Phoenix, as I believe Blitz was talking about during the draft, definitely very annoying long-range magic damage for Necro, whose really only defense at this stage in the game is that Ghost Shroud, which makes that do more damage.
Yeah, I mean, is there any sense in maybe just getting a value cloak or something on Necro just to assist
I think
with
that
some
would,
burst?
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable. Just you don't even have to go the full hood pipe yet. Just that little bit of extra EHP at this stage in the game. But Gyro is queuing up the Maelstrom in order to most likely address the PL. And a lot of gyros I've been seeing have been going Ags in tandem with it. So pretty classic standard gyro builds. You just kind of get there faster because of the rework to flak. That's really the only difference I've noticed in terms of the way gyros are farming. Does get the Royal Jelly, super nice neutral item, as well as the Arcane Ring for Gyro. Very good neutral items for him. On the other side, we see an Arcane Ring for PL. Not that great on PL. Anybody else have some neutral items?
No, not coming out yet. The drop rate's higher, but they still need to hit the neutral creeps to even get them to come out. Meanwhile, top lane, see our first lasso pullback here, but doesn't lead to much. Just easily doppels himself out from potential trouble. Not really the way you want to make your debut lasso, but they'll have to settle with it. The rest of the team still kind of migrated towards this top lane as they trade out for the precious 10-minute bounties and outposts.
So Hector queues up the Manta first on the PL. So it looks like he wants to take a longer time farming. They already are down by 3,000 net worth, though, at 10 minutes into the game. The main issue I always see on PL is the game is over before you're strong. You know, you want this Manta defusal, maybe one more item, and you're feeling unstoppable. But sometimes the game just gets out of hand before you get there. So I think it's really important for Beastcoast to start slowing down this net worth advantage that Thunder Predator is accumulating, because it doesn't matter if PL becomes the strength that he wants to be if the rest of his team is really hurting that much. PL does need some assistance to get through the 25-30 minute mark of the game.
And
Chris
curious
Lug is hurting.
Where that assistance is going to be coming from. You know, Earth Spirit normally power peaks earlier in the game when you're able to move around from lanes and get a lot done. He unfortunately fell a bit short on that, so his recovery is going to take a bit of time. Getting his ult could certainly help things a bit, but get that, a Wyvern, and then mainly just seeing where the Ember can kind of land. But for right now, a bit low on the net worth. Had that tough time against the Necro and just will need a lot more nourishment before he could match the pacing that you're talking about with the PL. So onus is on Beastcoast to try to get the game paced out better for themselves, slowing down. And they're going to be the ones to smoke out now and go on the move. See if they look towards the mid lane here. MJZ seems very appetizing. Chains out. But don't follow up.
This Ember is just so poor, man. 3 levels behind the Necro at 12 minutes into the game. 4K net worth lead, putting pressure on this mid lane. They do have the Spirit Vessel, though, but he does already have the Yules done on Leo style, so he has prepared already for this timing, and he has to be very, very picky, choosy about when he uses that Yules, because if he uses it and then gets Spirit Vessel, he'll be in some trouble.
Schofield got his level 6, pops the ult, but is not able to even get a stone recharge there, so that ult's just unfortunately going to be all for naught. And Beastcoast are just going to have to head back to the drawing board for now. Thunder Predator, lots of rotations towards the top lane. Looks like they have potential eyes on the top tier 1. Could be a big takedown. I mean, if you know that the Ember Spirit has to fall back on reserves like the jungle, I imagine that Thunder Predator want to just remove that territory from Beastcoast if possible.
And multiple lanes of pressure. Do have to be a bit careful on Thunder Predator. You are ahead, but if you overextend and feed a Gyro or Necro here or there, that is exactly what they need to buy time for this PL. So doing a good job of forcing reactions to the mid lane Leo style, then backing off, which opens up the tower top. MNZ naturally doing the carry rotation from his own safe lane to the opponent's safe lane, where you then kind of just migrate and farm this part of the map. Instead of the Ags, he is queuing up the BKB. It is a pretty damn good BKB game. Until PL gets really farmed, there's really no damage that goes through the BKB. You do have the Wyvern Curse, but that's not damage. That's just disable. They might be chasing MJZ.
I think they got him. Yeah, easy swarm in. So,
come
on.
The tree destroying
come on.
escape path.
Don't let him get away. They wanted Hector to be able to move in and get the last hit, but really had to come at a cost of time there now to get it done. Leaving Thunder Predator to push out mid and bottom and work through their jungle for the time being. But with Gyro committing now to the early BKB pickup, that all but says that, you know, Thunder Predator want to take fights, want to get something done early. Maybe work around the timing of Necrophos's next item, which seems to be the mech into Greaves buildup. And certainly Batrider's Blink Dagger, if he's able to kind of get to it.
I'm just a tad concerned of their ability to force objectives. I think they're just going to have to kill their way through this game on Thunder Predator. I think with this advantage, unless Gyro builds Ags, they don't really have a tower hitter. I guess the Jakiro kind of, but he only has 1 point in Liquid Fire at this stage.
Yeah.
Batrider, I guess the Blink Daggers, their real go time, so they're going to probably try to line that up with the BKB from Gyro. He's 2,300 off his, Batrider's 1,600 off his, so they'll probably hit it at a similar time based on the fact that Gyro does farm faster. And these Greaves, a bit odd since he went for the treads first, but it would be a nice to have that extra purge, the extra sustain for heroes like Gyro that don't really have built-in sustain.
I'm pretty sure also you can, you'll be able to just Greaves off everything the Earth Spirit has to dish to.
The chains, every one of Phoenix's spells. Yeah, it's just a really good purge game, or, you know, a dispel game.
And then even one of the supports want to grab the Lotus for him. It's just like even more backup potential for the Necro to stride in these fights. Deep commitment here from Frank, using the drums to potentially try to get a hog tie onto somebody, but without the Blink Dagger, it's just a little harder to close the gap that much faster.
Killwood gave up, he found a Nether Shawl, and he chose not to keep it. He chose the Ironwood Tree. I think that Nether Shawl is really good on PL this game specifically. They have so much magic damage on the Radiant side, and PL's already got pretty high armor, so pretty surprised he gave that up. Who did he give the Nether Shawl to? As of now, no. Oh, the Ember has it. Okay. He did go first item Blade Mail on Ember Spirit.
Oh, across the side. Jakiro, nice ice path, but the pressure's already on. Will lose his life. MNZ on the high ground here. Looks to fight forward with a little bit of flak harassment, Leo style from the river. Forces out the egg. And on that note, Thunder Predator looks to take a retreat, but they've isolated the gyrocopter. Bank shot with the Wyvern, and they get it done. And neutral creep almost gets in a piece himself. But Gyro does fall. Beastcoast successful on this, and they're not done yet. Moving on forward. Oh, they are going to be welcome, though, as a big hit comes out onto Hector with that Necro ulti. And they're still thinking about Squabble. Not able to get the catch of the stone. Nice ice path stops them in their tracks, but Chris Luck is not letting up, and he's able to finish out what he had started. Leo style is going to get dropped. Wyvern ulti is there, but they can't get this Void Spirit. He quickly jumps to the other side, and Matthew tries to turn the corner, but this is looking all Beast Coast right now. Step in from Frank as he's able to burn down one. Schofield next. Frank's getting it done. Triple kill for him.
Wow.
He's not done yet. He's going for Chris. Get back here, little piggy. Boom.
He has Remnant Charge coming up.
And here's MNZ with the rocket. Where'd MNZ go?
Oh! He messed it up.
Okay. Well,
wow, that
Frank
drum's attack speed.
With the ultra kill. Frank.
Like I said, the Blink Dagger coming way before the BKB because Frank's going to get an ultra kill. That was pretty crazy. That fight lasted so long that Frank died at the very beginning of it and then respawned and got 4 kills.
Let's go ahead and check out the action once again, and we can find out exactly how Frank was able to turn the tide. So obviously a bit of an awkward start, and then with an easy isolated catch onto the gyrocopter, things did not bode well.
He's dead for 33 seconds, and he's going to come back and get 4 kills here. So they chase quite deep.
They're very deep, yeah.
K1 commits he gets caught out. He does separate his real PL away and gets Reapered when I think he could have avoided that happening. But then does a good job using the Yule Scepter so that he gets all the regen through the kill.
Still 10 seconds before Frank's even here. Like, what the hell? They seriously took that long to finally take down the Necro. Then the long winter ult. It just looks like it takes so much effort. And then Matthew.
They're all low mana, less than half health.
And look where Frank is. He goes to the tier
cleanup crew
1 tower and is able to catch him out right on front.
Nice block on the Earth Spirit roll as well. Doink. And that's how you get a Blink Dagger on Batrider.
And now we're going to see Thunder Predator with that new Blink Dagger go on the move to the bottom lane. They tie up and wipe out the Wyvern.
That is a lot of hate for a support, but Wyvern definitely one of the supports you have to commit onto. Otherwise, that curse is some scary counter initiation. The rocket! Oh my God! Oh, butt cheeks were clenched right there.
Very close. And now the rocket will fly express all the way back.
Yep, reminding you that you barely made it out. Doink.
You got lucky.
Yep.
But that's a double kill now for Necro on the back of the Batrider Blink debut.
They also have the BKB on Gyro. 10 seconds, still fresh. Aquila, quite a nice item for him. I'm pretty disappointed in these guys. We see Necro with no neutral item. Like, what's going on here, guys?
Yeah, do they not have enough neutral items? Not enough time to even neutral? They'll drop right here, I'm sure. These birds got it. Oh, Grove Bow, but that's for the other team. Who can even use that? Phoenix? Wyvern?
Okay, he's got the Van Brace coming out. He's got an item coming.
Casual call down for the 20-minute bounty.
That second missile does so much damage now. Grove Bow for PL. The hype.
Yeah, obviously, I guess. Wyvern has the Arcane Ring, which is good, so I don't think.
Yeah, Grove Bow is a pretty. It's one of those neutral items that's either really good or just nobody uses.
Feels like
it.
It's good on like 10 heroes
yeah.
or something. And you rarely
it's like
have one of those
Viper,
heroes
Enchantress,
in the game.
maybe Weaver, Morphling. That's about it. Any right clicker that also does magic damage. Okay, we have a smoke up from Beastcoast looking to make something happen into the BKB Blink Dagger of the opponent, so have to be quite careful of this power spike that Thunder Predator has hit.
I mean, they imagine they got to know they're feeling a little bit behind, but to feel like this is necessary is really something else. You know, they have late game that they could fall back on a bit, but they don't want to let this Necro get too far and out of control. They'll settle for the outpost.
They know they're there because they were
obviously
smoked, and suddenly you don't have an outpost anymore.
Can't see in my own jungle now. So they smoke themselves, and Thunder Predator are looking to cut across the river and catch Beast Coast members on their way out. Let's see what they can find. Jump in for the Wyvern immediately, and it's going to commit the lasso. Schofield moves in, stops him in his track, gets a nice big ult, but I don't think the damage is going to be nearly enough. Wyvern's there, commits the ult. I mean, okay, Earth Spirit ult is kind of lasting now quite a bit. They're looking to torch him up. Chris Luck fighting forward, but here comes MNZ. Chunks him down on the back of his BKB, scoring the double kill. There goes the Reaper's Scythe, and they make it a triple. MNZ gets that one too. 14-10, 6-7K net worth advantage. Thunder Predator take 2 solid fights now, back-to-back, and a Tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and that's with all the ultimates going off for Beast Coast. That almost seems like best case scenario for them, but they were down by 7K going into that fight, and now they're still down by 7K. So all things considered, they are buying time for this PL, queuing up the Heart of Tarask, potentially the Basher. This is a game you feel like you need damage as PL. You also feel like you need that Heart of Tarask. You feel like you need a lot of items, and that means you need a lot of time.
And money. They don't
and
have
money.
that.
Time is money.
Thunder Predator got money, and they're buying items. Talk to me a little bit about this Void Spirit Agnum Scepter. Isn't that, like, really something else? The new, like, silence?
The AoE silence is pretty nice this game. On the PL, especially, on the supports. Okay, I like it a lot. It seems a bit greedy coming from a 4, but they already have all the team fight sustain coming out from the Necro with the Greaves from the core position, so that allows your supports to go for greedier items.
I've heard it's good. I heard it's quite annoying.
Once it gets to level 15, it's even more powerful. You get the extra 100 resonant pulse damage on the 2 charges. But most notably, he's able to play very independently. He's very survivable this game. He really only dies to the Earth Spirit silence, so that allows him to get much more farm on the map. So going this greedier build can allow him to scale as a 4 position. I mean, Void Spirit's usually played as a core, so why not buy core type items on him?
And the Earth Spirit is going straight Ags also. And I don't even think it's that great.
Wait, what? That's the same axe it's always been, right?
It can't rend it. It just, makes an ally or an enemy.
Isn't it like 100 cast range?
But he can't even like blink, and he doesn't have the extra cast range. So you have to be like hugging them.
Yeah.
He'll kill himself doing it.
Get real close, but
and you're not, and it doesn't give you the pull ally anymore.
Do you think that they should increase the cast range of these type of things due to the social distancing that,
yeah, right?
that has occurred?
I mean, it's promptly followed up by usually a boot in the ass to get away from you, though.
Yeah, it is
so
true.
It works out.
I remember when it was first came out, I think it was 400 cast range or something like that, and you could use it on opponents pretty easily and just boot them into your team 2,000 range or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Lasso again onto the Wyvern.
Pull back, not even a pullback, just locks him right under for the Ice Path and the Reaper Scythe. And that Wyvern
Maybe Roche?
Gone.
That's the only logical explanation or, course of action coming out from that kill.
Yeah, without that Wyvernal as a threat.
Except they're on gyro, so they have pretty decent single target damage. They have the liquid fire slow on the attack speed. The sustain is looking good for Thunder Predator. Yeah, they're only up by 5,000 gold now, but this is the next natural objective they want to take, giving gyro the ability to go high ground. They don't really have the best high ground defense for a gyro that's just going to siege, especially once he gets Satanic. They only have poke damage for the most part on Beastcoast, and that Satanic will address that real well. So probably going to farm for, 3-4 minutes and then look for that Satanic timing.
Also, this Bat Rider, who's currently on chase for Schofield, is working towards a BKB. I imagine once he has that complete, he could just move in and kidnap anybody out of the base, really, with no questions asked.
He's been pretty dead set on getting the Wyvern every single fight, and I think that's going to continue. Because as long as you get Wyvern, your gyro can operate freely in these fights, be able to hit the egg. We talked about that in the draft, that their way of protecting the egg is the Wyvern, so you kind of make the egg more vulnerable by lassoing the Wyvern. There's a lot of implications of getting the Wyvern in the lasso. So that BKB, there's no way to cancel his BKB lasso other than the Wyvern, so that's going to really enable him to lasso the Wyvern. I just said Wyvern a lot.
That's fine. All right, well.
Going Radiance on
Yeah,
Necro.
I saw that. Necro's going for his first, real offensive type of item, I guess you could say. Is the Radiance, the everlasting burn that could be coming out.
Against the PL, it's just too good usually. Radiant Shiva's pretty standard items that you want to try to get in your inventory on one of your heroes, if possible. And Necro definitely the most natural Radiance carrier here. They do have the gyro, but you talked about how much responsibility this gyro has. Why not give him a little bit of help, on one of those responsibilities here? Smoke up to the mid lane.
Yeah, looks like a nice kidnapping of the Phoenix here. Bursting down. Yep, certainly no chance of an egg.
That's a big kill.
Dominating now for MNZ. Phoenix is out for 40 seconds, has the buyback optional. But we'll see if Thunder Predator uses this opportune moment to add pressure maybe towards this mid-tier 2. They're all congregated here at the ready. Frank, no lasso up at the moment to do any sort of pullback play.
That's such a K1 Hector move, is where he runs at you, and you think it's just PL illusions, and then suddenly he lances you, and you're like, wait, no, one of those is a real one. You can see the yellow pings coming out like, what the hell? He just hit me. And
this man is so ballsy.
Yeah, well, you just don't expect it. So you're expecting it to be an illusion the whole time. So by the time you've processed it's actually him, you haven't done anything about it.
Ooh, 2 nice items right there. The Quickening Charm. With the
really good on Bat Rider if they give that to him.
And then, of course, the Telescope.
Telescope's almost always a nice item, except for when you have those pub strats of 5 melee heroes. That's when you wish you didn't get the Telescope.
I'm kind of confused by it. So you would put it on, use scan, and then the duration, the cooldown's reduced. And then can you take
50%?
Can you take it off then?
Yeah,
at that point?
I think it's the set amount of cooldown, not like it ticks twice as fast. I think it's just the set amount.
So you should put Telescope on, use the scan, then take it off.
Yeah, you could do that technically. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I usually forget that it does that. I always remember it as the attack range, cast range item, not the scan.
I assume it will add the cooldown back if you take it off.
No,
so
I'm pretty sure you're right there.
Could be a cheap way to just get a faster scan.
There you go. It's just like when you're dead, you should always put the Philosopher's Stone in your inventory, get that extra 30 gold while you're dead.
Yeah.
All about that, a little bit of efficiency.
Man, Thunder Predator have not tried to back off from being stuck too much on their own side of the river. They're trying to always make their presence known on the Beastcoast side here. If not able to head right down the middle, it seems like they're taking the northern side of the map, claiming most of the jungle if available to them. But kind of holding out still, maybe for that Batrider BKB to become finished, which is pretty much done now.
Yeah, they've got this BKB, this Radiance, and then whatever Gyro decides to go for. He does have the Butterfly queued up as opposed to the Satanic. I myself am a bigger fan of the Satanic if you want to go high ground, but the Butterfly is better for fights outside of base, so kind of tells me they don't intend to end this game right now. If they go for the Butterfly, they more so intend to win a couple fights and then extend their lead more. But we've seen it level out. It was 7K, I think, 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's, it's not much of a difference between 7K and 5K, but the fact that it hasn't continued to grow the lead for Thunder Predator bodes well for this PL to be able to hit the timings he needs to get to.
Yes, it does. Meanwhile, looks like we're going to have a little bit of a tift here. Leo Style caught out from the Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, MNZ going to shoot down Laylis. Chase continues. Reaper Scythe out just to slow them down, but it's not going to stop them. They're going to move forward. They got Leo Style. Double kill for MNZ as he takes the fight back. But it's
Classic
K1
Hector,
who is just cleaning house within the midst of them. Reapproaches and then helps take down the Void Spirit.
Aegis expired as well, and this is the Hector show. Classic Beastcoast. Looks like relatively hopeless game where two of their cores have terrible net worths, and all the net worth is on K1, and he just carries. So he has now overtaken the top net worth in the game on PL. First time, I believe, so far this entire 30 minutes. And he's going to be real scary for this Gyro with this Basher, especially with the Abyssal Blade. Even more so the heroes like Batrider that have these BKBs, but if he just gets jumped by this PL, he'll die real fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure, unfortunately, what the big answer is going to be for the PL. You'd think that with Gyrocopter's build-up, Maelstrom, Ags, you have a Jakiro on your team, like maybe you could just spread the damage enough to isolate where the PL is going to be. But, as we saw with PL support staff kind of starting things off for him, they just kind of end up sleeping on Hector, and he just finds his way through these fights, doing so much damage.
It's just free kills on he did a really good job of focusing the Jakiro first, just the defenseless support. The Void Spirit's pretty survivable, while all the other cores have some way of getting away with the BKBs or the Eul Scepter Greaves on the Necro. He does have Radiance now. Going to be much more careful on the side of MJZ on the Jakiro to make sure he's near his team such that he can't get isolated. They are smoked looking for K1. Will they find him?
There's that ward mid lane, but
they're also smoked on Beastcoast.
I don't know if they will suddenly get the idea that Beast Coast are just missing. Beast Coast, by the drawings that they've put out on the mini-map, seem to have a general idea on where Thunder Predator are. So let's see how they position themselves, maybe hoping to catch someone out TPing to defend this top lane. Oh, someone's TPing. So Void Spirit.
As you said.
Multiple TPs.
He's aware, though.
Yeah, they know. They're pinging. Beast Coast has been off the map for way too long now, so they're just going to have to play it careful. But that's still a win for Beast Coast. They're controlling the map and just dictating where Thunder Predator need to go.
Yeah, anytime you see smokes like this and you want to know what team came out on top, just look at the map positioning. Beast Coast invading, Thunder Predator stuck under their own towers.
Beast Coast have fantastic ward vision to see this approach from Leo Style. They're thinking about going in. Half to come in from Phoenix. Then they move in. He does the Remnant, but doesn't really offer a whole lot. Now MNC is going to be in the midst of it. Does get hit from the Wyvern ult, and now they begin to swarm. Can the Gyrocopter fight his way out from this? Pops his BKB, pops everything he has, but ultimately gets locked in his spot and surrounded, and then finally finished off. Was able to get off a decent amount of damage. Can Thunder Predator clean up what he had started here as they fight forward for Whisper? He manages to somehow fly away from the trouble, but it is still the K1 Hector show as he fights out the rest of TP. Leo Style bumping back a bit. You guys want to go? Abyssal Blade's there. And he gets the Necro down and out. No buyback. 80 seconds. Next will be MJZ. And this fight goes to Beast Coast. 4 down all day.
Up until this point, it's pretty straightforward. If Wyvern curses, Beastcoast win the fight. If she doesn't, they lose. But at this point, maybe K1 is high enough net worth for future fights that isn't even required anymore. You saw the impact of that egg plus the Wyvern combo. Just really nothing the Gyro can do. Yeah, he went for this butterfly, I think, seemingly to be able to man up better as well as to be able to kill the egg faster. But he was disabled for almost the entirety of the duration of the egg, allowing it to go off, stunning him once again through BKB. K1 kind of just wreaking havoc in the meantime. Even though Gyro took a long time to die, he just didn't do anything. He didn't accomplish anything, and that whole time he's being crowd controlled, the PL's just going to town on his teammates, and you pick this Gyro to kind of fend off this PL, but now you lose mid-racks. You're going to lose top most likely. The repair kit might be enough to save this top racks. Everyone is alive on the Radiant up in about 10 seconds. They're just going to back off after the tier 3. Smart, disciplined play.
Really, all that enchant remnant. That's so funny.
Oh, the enchant remnant.
I wonder if he was going to try to kick him out or something. Just
like,
get away.
Yeah, I think he was, but yeah.
But the distance, you have to be so close.
Maybe the idea was to simply just remove the Gyro from the fight as long as possible from every hero, because that's what they did. They just cursed. They remnanted him, like they enchanted remnanted him. It lasts for 3 seconds. He's effectively gone for 3 seconds. It's like banishing him.
True.
Point blank. Is it worth it? I don't know, but
definitely interesting. I'll see if he does more with it or not. None of his talents really help him with it that much, too. So
Wyvern now has a Eon disc completed.
Check a replay.
You're going to see the sick remnant. Oh, he comes out.
Yeah, and like you said, man, Gyro just gets stuck isolated so the rest of the team can kind of clear house and then put their attention onto the gyrocopter when they deem necessary.
It's just what happens is the PL zones everybody, then the egg goes off, and then the PL's allowed to go back on the Gyro, because even though the Gyro has his support crew still alive, they can't fight underneath the egg because they're all just going to get stunned, and it's so much damage over time as well. And Gyro just goes down, effectively accomplishing nothing. And once Gyro's dead, there's just not enough to clear the PL illusions at that point. The Radiance from Necro alone is not going to be enough. So he's just completely fearless, chasing anybody down that he wants to. Now that this Wyvern has an Eon disc, I don't know how they win fights on Thunder Predator. They're going to seemingly try to sneak a Roshan. Maybe Beastcoast is going to get caught with their pants down on the bottom half of the map right now. Seemingly no clue as to this going on.
Don't seem to be the wiser. Don't seem to have any way to scout out the Roche. They may just kind of check through the woods, see nothing, but obviously it'll be far too late. Quickly threw a remnant up, but Thunder Predator already have gotten what they needed and will have an extra life.
He had that DD right outside the Roche pit, which made that even faster than it should have been.
Yeah, but that's how things work out sometimes. And the underdog will have another opportunity to kind of hold the fort.
That rolling boulder damage or distance talent is insane. I watch it. He goes so far.
I mean, when you all put it together now, it's what makes him ridiculous. You're talking 4-second cooldown on that rolling boulder. It has the extra damage. I don't know if he decided to go for it. He did. He went with the distance, yeah. Doesn't it have damage?
The damage is at 15, yeah.
Okay.
The damage is at 15 now. The distance at 10 is insane, honestly. He goes so far.
Crazy.
It doesn't matter that your Ags is point blank. He has a BKB on Earth Spirit. What the hell? Where are these items coming out of?
That's a great question. He's
I
certainly
think it's
not
from
farming
creeps.
it himself.
Yeah, it's that Philosopher's Stone. That makes sense, actually.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, I just watched him attack this catapult like 19 times to bring it down to half.
So sad. He can barely farm as it is when you're an Earth Spirit.
He is TPing immediately.
Okay, here we go. Trading out bottom. As Matthew gets caught out with Chris Luck, forced to jump to the other side. Now comes Gyrocopter. He gets remnanted again. Taken out of the fight. That's the game plan. And now the rest of Beastcoast can begin to go to work. K1 sets his sights to trade up with MNZ. Doesn't really like the fight a whole lot. Attempts to reposition his Necro Companion to the low ground to make it away and make chase onto Laylis, who makes it out to the other side. Schofield to the high ground, looking to chase down Frank. They're successful there. This fight is Beastcoast now as they've taken 3, look to go for 4. And that is all said and done, they might not be done yet. Can't
Nice
quite
kick.
catch. Now they
Oh.
can. Boom.
So well played by Schofield.
And that will make it a 5-man wipe if they get this finish.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no, Schofield. Don't roll back in front of him. Does he have Remnant up? Yes, he does.
Oh, the bait.
Remnant him. Yes. Yes. Now do nothing. Just enough for Hector to come and finish him off. Nice.
It's kind of funny. Their game plan in these fights has been to remnant the gyro and then egg on top of him. So when he comes out, he's got 2-3 seconds to kill the egg, and nobody wants to help him because there's an egg right next to him. Kind of peculiar. We questioned this Ag Scepter. We both didn't like it. But
so much money for a 3-second disable, you know. But I guess that's.
But the only other setup they really have that's reliable is the Wyvern Curse, and you don't want to use that right before the egg, right? So it gives them a fight win condition. You know, it's pretty weird. You think of it as a 3-second stun. I never thought. I didn't think about this going into the game, but now I see it. It's like a fight win condition for them to have this item on Earth Spirit, and he's just so farmed now. He has a blink dagger on top of it.
Makes it a lot better now.
Yeah, now it's reliable. Before, I'm impressed he was able to pull it off as often as he did. This game just got out of hand way too fast.
The rolling boulder distance certainly helps, and he's so tanky as it is. He'll eventually get in there to get the Remnant done, and they're just going jugular now, Leo style, trying to defend all up in the mix while Ember is just getting up in their face. Chris Luck now dragged inside the fountain.
The Remnant
and
is
he's
saved.
remnanted. Couldn't quite get the kick out though. And they'll eventually get Chris Luck down. He'll be sent to the Shadow Realm for nearly 2 minutes. And the rest of Beastcoast will take their exit.
He can go take a bathroom break on Chris Luck.
Feeling pretty good. But they're going to fight it out as best they can. And there they lose their Jakiro. Thunder Predator back. But this has to be the beginning of the end. Thunder Predator going in for their all-out defensive finish here. MNZ leading out the charge with Matthew. Side by side. Can they even get Hector down? Hector is just doing too much. Now with a triple kill. Able to backpedal away. Make a new approach for Matthew. Thinks about setting his sights for MNZ, but it might be too much for him to handle. Decides that it's best to back up. We'll get the helpful glimmer. And Chris Luck is now back in action. Thunder Predator drawing this one out, but I don't know if it's going to be to their benefit. They backpedal.
The re-engage full health
K1's
kill.
back. Yeah, I was going to say he's got all of his life back. Leo style forced to eat the cheese. Heals right back up. And that's going to be the end of the Void Spirit. Now out over 100 seconds. MNZ turns around. Fight. There we go. Remnant. But the cold embrace is there to cancel out the damage. Doppelganger.
Slightly late
Still
on the
stuck
secure ice
inside.
path.
Abyssals. Ooh, this man trying to make it out, but the donk is there.
Their base.
MNZ gets it done.
Oh, God. The
Oh,
creeps.
wow.
But that flat cannon clears it all. Okay.
That's money.
Rapier time or what? Nice.
Yep,
Oh,
he's
right
queued it
on
up.
cue.
That's
Yep.
all they got. That's all they got.
They have to buy a Vlads for him, I think, because he can't afford to have this rapier with no lifesteal.
Quick, get those bounty runes. I need the money.
Rapier's really cheap nowadays. It's only 6,000 gold. He's 1,900 away. Gyro's one of the best mega creep defending heroes in the game, especially now that they buffed up his, or I guess reworked his flat cannon to a much lower cooldown.
That's right. Definitely more helpful in these kind of situations.
Tier 4 items coming out. Witless Shaco. We got
I always see the Shaco. I feel like that is just always
rigged.
It's rigged for sure.
They also have the Timeless Relic. That's really good on heroes like Earth Spirit or Wyvern.
Debuff duration.
Illusionist Cape on PL. That's a good item.
How convenient.
And he's also got an Illusion Rune. We're all in. Time to end. There's no better luck than this. Okay, he's going to go jungle.
I'll send my illusions in, though. I mean, they feel at times on their side, sure. Thunder Predator have a lineup that can handle the mega creeps. But they're not going anywhere outside the base. So the economy game still belongs to Beastcoast, and they can decide when they feel it's time to push.
Yeah, it's time for the campfire song for the Radiant here. They're just going to gather around the campfire, which is their ancient, and sing some campfire songs while they wait for their opponent to...
Take my hand and hold the line.
Yes,
Play
exactly.
Red Rover with Beastcoast.
Exactly.
See who they can send on over.
I need to get better at spamming voice lines. All these good players on these professional teams seem to be connoisseurs of voice lining. What do you think of voice lines?
I love voice lines. I think they work. I remember hearing something not long ago about like the tipping mental warfare.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't consider is like when you're in the laning phase and you take out their core, and even though it wasn't their fault, you tip their support to make them start thinking that he messed up. And then they start fighting. Like the core's like, you see? They think you messed up. You messed up. And then you just force them to fight.
And you create the blame game
Exactly.
yourself. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty vicious. It was either Lyrical or No Tail who said that.
That's next level.
You
I didn't think about that.
You tip the enemy support, and you will tilt them out.
So the core messes up. You know that guy's already tilted because he messed
Yeah.
up. And then you tip the guy that clearly did nothing wrong, and he
And hopes that the core blames him.
Yeah, infers from that he got blamed. Okay, yeah, okay.
In pubs, I'm sure that works.
That has to work
often.
at least 10% of the time every time, for
Yeah.
sure. He does have the rapier on Gyro.
Yep.
It is done.
I mean, this is not over for Thunder Predator. They get a Hail Mary of a fight on the back of a rapier. They charge on down. Beastcoast throw away a buyback. You really never know. We've seen crazier stuff in Dota.
Yeah, I think if they win, I'd say 2 fights on Thunder Predator, they can win the game. They have to get the first fight that forces out the buybacks, and then the second fight that allows them to end. They have the Refresher Orb on Phoenix, also an Eon Disc on the Phoenix. So now you're at this point where the only 3 targets you can initiate onto are really elusive or tanky. You have the Ether Lens on the Earth Spirit also. So he's got super long range initiation on that point blank Enchant Remnant now.
And now we can do all the funny shenanigans like this. The kickback sends it all the way back to Phoenix. He rolled out the wrong direction, unfortunately, though. And they're trying to isolate what they can from Leo style at this point. Chris Luck jumps in, looks to go for the finish, and gets it done onto that Jakiro. On the other side, with the egg committed, they're trying to burst apart this gyrocopter. MNZ now forced to BKB. The Wyvern ult is there. Catches the Void Spirit, and that's when K1 decides to converge. He sees a delicious opportunity to gobble them up and goes for it. That gyrocopter is out and done.
And the DC from K1. You got to respect it.
Just, you know what? We are done.